Okay, today we're going to be doing a video that I'm real excited to do, and hopefully we're going to have a lot of fun with it. And what we're doing is today, number one, we're doing a mass pack opening. We're going to be opening 60 packs of Core 20, Core 2020, M20, and we're also going to be constructing around 4 decks, or attempting to construct around 4 decks. And it's gonna, it's gonna be more involved than just your standard pack opening video, because this video is going to talk about how to best utilize your wild cards. And in this case, it's going to be maximizing uh, intersectionality and utility of your cards. So, the more decks you can use certain cards in, the better. The more use you'll get out of them as a whole. Um, making them the same color, making your handful of decks. I mean, ideally more than one deck, but if you have a handful of decks, it's using um, the same guild colors, the same tribes, whatever it is that you can maximize, and it's going to be a function of cards you've already pulled on your account from like regular booster pack openings, as you've like, say for instance, whatever you've gotten from War of the Spark when War of the Spark was the newest set, whatever you got from your free codes from the Ravnica sets with, here's 3 packs, and whatever you may have gotten from, your welcome packs, that kind of thing. Um, and so this is one of the things that is useful about this is the idea of having multiple accounts. This is what makes having multiple accounts useful, because number one, you're not necessarily bogged down by the colors you've invested into with the rare cards you've decided to consume, because you can rotate out between accounts. For example, on my main account, I've gone ahead and committed to making Grixis Control with a Bolus deck, and that's my only deck on that account, really. But I can, if I want to in the future, make Rakdos decks or Izzet decks or Dimir. Yeah, those are the 3 color combinations. If I want to, from the pool of cards that I've already crafted from, like, say, Dreadhorde Butcher or Thief of Sanity, that kind of stuff. And so having multiple accounts allows you to do 2 things. It allows you to, one, have different guilds you can toy with without dumping a crap ton of money into it just to be able to say, oh, I want to try this color combination now. Well, have fun crafting or spending money to hopefully pull and then craft all the color combinations you need to have a well-working deck. So that's number one reason why it's important to have more than one account. The second reason to have more than one account, number two, is if you're disciplined enough / have the time to be able to farm for the in-game currency, um, you're able, let's say you have 4 accounts, which is like the most optimal, really. What you're able to do then is you're able to just save up on each account, and for each season, one every 3 months, you can go to another account that you've saved up on and dump the gold that you've amassed into the meta for that newest set that has come out. So that's what we're doing here with one of my multiple accounts. I've technically got 5, so if you really want, I wouldn't do more than 5, honestly, but if you really wanted to do 5, you could have 4 for kind of rotating each time a new set comes out. Um, and maybe a 5th one just for fun. One of my accounts is mono red fun shenanigans. So that's the story there. That's why multiple accounts are useful, and that's what we're doing today. We're trying to maximize one of them. Now, so what decks do we already have? I'm sorry, what decks are we planning on making? Well, we're planning on making um, an Arcade's Defender deck, a Simic Flash, Flying deck, and Field of the Dead Scapeshift. So uh, meta, two meta decks, 2 strong meta decks. One that's more casual, fun shenanigans, and one that's, I want to say experimental, but it's not too experimental. But I want to try and see how it'll work out. So this originally, um, actually, let me back up. So how did I come to wanting to make these decks? Well, I wanted to. These just ended up being the decks that I found I could make the easiest, because we're going to go over here to this deck. These are the rares that I've already accumulated for that would be in all of these combinations of the decks. One Hanged Executioner, this goes in the Flyers. Teferi Time Raveler, this goes in, I think, a couple of them. Dungeon Geists, another flyer for the flying deck. Shifting Ceratops doesn't really matter. It's for a topic later on in the video. Glacial Fortress, this is just a... I happened to, I think, get this from just a regular daily reward kind of thing. So that's another rare I don't have to craft for the Azorius colors. Already have myself a Temple of Mystery pulled, and probably most importantly, 2 Field of the Dead already been pulled from N20. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards I've already pulled. Let's double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not counting this because it's just side deck material that we're hoping to pull multiples of later on. I got the 1 Glacial Fortress you pulled extra. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 rares that I've already pulled that we don't need to craft. And that's pretty big. That's over like 30, nearly 40 packs worth of just pulls that you don't have to worry about crafting or hoping that they'll drop. And that's pretty big. So that's how I decided to go ahead and make these decks, because we can dump all of our money into Core 2020, all of our saved up gold into Core 2020, and we can work on grabbing. Let's see, what are some examples here? Night Pack Ambusher, just as an example, which you can see we have none of. Okay. I'm moving things here, but doesn't matter. We just won't save that. Discard changes. Let's see. So, let's talk about what we need in order to complete these decks. Just really quick, in terms of intersectionality, when I was trying to figure out when I was getting ready to make this video, I'd actually realized to myself, wait a second, because I didn't know what my Selesnya colored, guild deck was going to be. I just figured I'd, make it up later. And this, I just realized I had a lot of cards that I could go ahead and try and I already have a lot of cards that would be used for making a wolf tribal deck. I've got 2 Tolsimir, Friend of Wolves, for more of the spark pulls. And I will have Temple Gardens. Night Pack Ambushers I'm working toward as a main component of one of my other decks, so I'll already have 4 of those rares, ideally. And I've already got 1 Beast Whisperer, for example. So not sure how this deck's going to turn out. And you got Incubation Druid, Amara, Knight of Autumn. These are all cards that will be updated to everyone's accounts with the next update, so that we get the 15 new decks that the new player experience accounts will be getting. So this is just, I don't know how I'm going to make this deck. I might not even touch it. But, absolute worst case scenario, it looks like I'll have a decent deck to maybe build or go into that won't require a lot of work or resources once Throne of Eldraine comes out, because I'm sure we're going to be getting more wolf support, and there's nothing in here that's going to rotate out. Just as a quick, checking out what was wolf tribal. So that's why that's there. So that's where intersectionality can be especially helpful. Say your account, this one as an example, we're going for the Bant colors. We're going for white, blue, and green. So you've got 2 Bant decks, and then you've actually got the 3 other guilds in their own single decks. You've got Simic, you've got Azorius, and you've got Selesnya. Also, this is just Azorius aggro flyers. Like that, this doesn't even count the control decks that you can make either in the future or right now. But anyways, we're going to stick with these 4 decks primarily for right now. So, what do we need exactly in order to craft all of these decks? What's missing? Okay, we're gonna go over here. We're not gonna bother counting commons and uncommons; they'll take care of themselves. Um, we'll mention the mythics in passing, but it's the rares that are the most important. So, what are we gonna need to make this deck? All right, we're gonna need an extra Teferi, so that's one rare. Well, I mean, I'll just name them and then I'll give you the numbers, so you don't have to worry about keeping the numbers in here. We need one. We need one Teferi. We need a playset of Arcades the Strategist. We need. Oh, and quick disclaimer: you're going to see some things that are only going to be crafted in threes because I'm not going to craft four of something that I know is going to get updated into my account when Throne of Eldraine comes out and we all get these decks that the new player experience is going to have. Like we each get one of each Shock Fountain when that update comes. So the Shocklands are what's going to the Shocklands are an example of this. I can't think of one. I can't think of any others off the top of my head right now, but I'm not crafting a fourth Shockland. I'm not wasting that rare slot. So, take it with a grain of salt. The decks will be at 90-95% power, but they're still mostly there. So, I'm just going to suck that up until the update. So, we need one Fairy, 4 Arcades the Strategist, 3 Hallowed Fountains. This should be more than that. Yeah, should be more. I counted that correctly, though, I believe, in my estimations earlier. 3 Sun Petal Groove, 3 Temple Gardens, 3 Breeding Pools. I remember I counted this correctly, too. 3 Hinterland Harbors. Discard those changes. Let's go over to Simic Flash. We will need 4 Night Pack Ambushers. And, again, Breeding Pools, Shocklands, and the Taplands. I know I'm using that term wrong, but this type of land. We're going to need these, and these, and these, and these. Well, not the Temple of Mystery with that. But, we're going to need Breeding Pools and Hinterland Harbors, but we've already counted that as rares we're going to need. So this is, like step number 1 in that intersectionality thing, or the greatest utility across decks. We're also going to need Supreme Phantoms. I'm just going to have to craft these because we're not making, we're not opening M20, or M19, we're opening M20. I might cut this to 3 depending on how many, how good our pulls are or not. We need 2 to 3 Hanged Executioner. I'll get to those numbers in a second. Muyan Ling, 1 or 2 would be nice. Hopefully at least 1. Already got a Teferi in this build, so don't have to worry about that. That shouldn't even really be here. 1 to 2 Dungeon Geists is what we'll need. These are the 2 that can it's kind of like 1 to 2 Dungeon Geists and 2 to 3 Hanged Executioners, because it's just gonna depend on where our pulls end up, how good they are. So yeah, we're gonna need those, and then we're gonna need, I guess I'd say 2 to 3 Sephara Sky's Blade. We won't need more than that, but 2 would be doable. And then lastly, discard changes. Lastly, for Field Scape Shift, we're going to need 2 Teferis, so that's 1 more than we've already counted from other decks. So that's 1 extra rare we'll need. 3 Scape Shifts, no Krasis, because again, this is an example of this 4th copy will be updated to the decks in the future. And we don't have to count these Shocklands here because we will have already crafted that. We've already counted them from other decks we've been listing off. And then, of course, a Temple of Mystery, which I know I missed from before. Sorry about that. A Blast Zone, and 2 Field of the Dead. So, in conclusion, when you do the math, in order to make all of these decks, I need 35 rares that I do not have. Right now, my wildcard count is 27 common, 17 uncommon, 15 rares, 8 mythics. Again, we're focusing on the rares, not too worried about the mythic count. So, let's see. What are my? I'm looking at my notes here. So in order to that's right. We need 35. There are 35 rares I don't have, but we have 15 rares available. Opening 60 packs is going to guarantee us, when you do the numbers, 8 rare wild cards. So that's effectively giving us a starting wild card count of 23. That leaves 12 rares that I need to pull that are either a random rare wild card drop or one of the rares I need from this list coming up here, which is Dungeon Geists 1 to 2, Safara's Skyblade 2 or 3, Hanged Executioner 3 or 2, Nightpack Ambusher 4, and Temple of Mystery 1. These are all of the cards that I need from this specific set that I can pull. Also, we can count if we however many rare wildcard drops we get, we can deduct that from the 12 rares I need as well, because I could just count toward anything. Now, given those 5 specific cards I need out of the pool, or out of the list I just named, Dungeon Geist, Safara, Hanged Executioner, Nightpack Ambusher, and Temple of Mystery, when you do the math, that's 5 specific cards out of a pool of about 65 rares. Actually, it's slightly less than that because I was counting rares from the decks as well. So 5 specific cards out of a pool of about 60 rares, plus you have to count the mythic drops that you're going to get in place of a rare card or a rare wild card. And you're looking at about a 1 in 15 chance of each pack having something I need. That means, the odds aren't great. We're looking at about a guaranteed of getting 4 of the 12 rares that I need, but we might get those 4 extra random. Oh yeah, right. That's not counting the rare wildcard drops, and it's not unreasonable to think we might get 4, maybe a little more. So 4 random rare wildcard drops. Actually, right. I was getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry. So about chance that I'll get about 4 of the cards I need from the packs. Also, rough chance that I will be getting about 4 random rare wildcard drops that aren't part of just the guaranteed drop wheel. That gets me almost to where I need to be. It puts me about 4 behind. So I need to pull about 8 specific cards, hopefully, or anything in X of those 4 extra random rares from packs. So statistically, getting 60 packs means I might pull about half of what I need, and again, be short about 4 rares. So we'll just have to see if I get the 12 pulls that I need in some combination of rare wild cards or specific rares I need. 10 would be an acceptable number in terms of the variants that I mentioned before with the Safara, the Dungeon Geists, and the Hanged Executioner. Also hoping to pull around 2 Mu Yanlings as the mythic. Not really caring too much about the other mythics except like Omnath. There's a very, very low chance that I will change my mind to maybe build elementals. Say if I could just get a ton of Omnaths and a lot of other elemental support. But again, that's going away from the Bant colors. That's going away from white, blue, and green, which I've already planned on kind of having this account support in terms of what's available and what I'm kind of investing in terms of the most amount of decks I can build from it. So, the only other thing is, I also might be building angels instead of just flyers. We'll just have to watch to see if I get Bishop of Wings pulled out of the packs. Icon of Ancestry is also a card we should be looking out for. That can be used in either if I build angels or flyers, because with the flyers, the primary one is going to be like spirits, I believe. So we'll watch for Bishop of Wings pulls. Outside of the cards I've already mentioned, we'll watch for Bishop of Wings, Icon of Ancestry, and again, what I mentioned before, the Shifting Ceratops. Those are the only other three cards that are really of interest to us. The Shifting Ceratops mainly because it's just a good side deck card. Um, clearly, as you can see by the decks lists, I haven't considered the side decks, but I'm not really too worried about it. We play mostly one of. Maybe next season we'll get into matches. Who knows? But this is what we're doing now. Um, worst case, if I don't pull what I need, uh, we'll wait till tomorrow, when that's going to be Sunday, when event XP, when you can get XP from the Ixalan event, when the weekly gauge resets and you can just go get wins in XP. And I can get about 6 more packs from that, so that's more chance of the random rare drop and a guaranteed the next wildcard rare. So, worst case, I'll be looking at just waiting another day. I will probably, right, for this video, we're just going to go ahead and do the opening and see what we get. I'm going to wait to craft everything for just another time, and then maybe do a video on, I'll do a video on the deck profiles and whatnot, but, so yeah, today we're just doing the pack opening, and definitely we'll be able to make definitely one deck, maybe 2 decks, and if my pull's really, like today, definitely be able to make 1 deck, maybe 2, and if my pulls are really good, all 4, maybe 3. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're gonna go and spend most of our money on Core Set 2020. Okay, need 53 packs. Oh, this is gonna take a while. Oh well. Now you can see for sure that I didn't buy these with gems. It's all gold. Probably should have done this beforehand, but it's okay. Almost there. Whoa! Why did that happen all at once? Why couldn't that happen before? I didn't get free packs, did I? No, I didn't. Okay. Alright, and 1 more. Okay. 60 packs. Pull up my little list here. Alright. Let's hope they're good. Here we go. Oh, there's a Muyen Ling. Good first pack. Icon of Ancestry could be interesting, but no real direct. Those are rares we needed. But good lord. Got 3 mythics, one of which I care about. But alright, next 10. Come on, rares. Don't let me down. Okay, rare wildcard. There's a Field of the Dead. So there's 2 out of the 12-ish we need. So there's 2. Get 10 more. Come on. Night Pack Ambushers. Let's go. There's 1 Ambusher. There's a Dungeon Geist. Hanged Executioner. Dungeon Geist. Ugh. Alright, we're maxed out on the Dungeon Geist, we need / can use. So, hopefully we don't see more of him. Otherwise, it'll just be kind of a wasted. Yes, that's the card I needed. So, alright. Next 10. Could use that Temple of Mystery. Alright. 4th Field of the Dead. So we got those, but that's unfortunately it for this set of pulls. And I've lost count as to how many pulls we've gotten. Mythic Wild and Rare Wild. There's a Sky's Blade. No, what was it? Bishop of Wings. So I guess we're not going the Angels route. We're looking at about 7 to 8 rares pulled that we've needed out of the 12, which is pretty good. Come on, Last Pack Magic, let's go. Hanged Executioner, Night Pack Ambusher. Come on, last 10, let's go. Okay, rare wild card. Damn you, Dungeon Geist. 2 Temple of Epiphanies? Gross. Oh, that's disgusting. I do not like seeing that 3rd Dungeon Geist. That's terrible. Alright, well, it looks like we got about 8 of what we needed. I guess let's go check out. We can just go to the decks and see how they all look. So, we've got ourselves. Let's see, let's do some quick math. So, before wildcards, we had 27 commons. Now we've got 44, got about 20 more of those. 39 uncommons, got over 20 of those. 26 rares when we started. Oh, wow, we started with 15 rares, 15 rare wild cards. Have 26 now. So yeah, I guess we got about 3 rare wild card drops, one less than I was hoping for at a minimum. Um, and then 12 mythic rares, which is the 2 guaranteed and 2 that dropped from packs. So, I guess the numbers are correct on the bottom of the screen where it says, 1 in 30 chance of a mythic rare wild card. So, all right, let's go check out the decks. Let's see. I don't think Scape Shift had anything in those packs. The Temple of Mystery didn't get any of those. That sucked. But we did get our Field of the Dead, so we still need it. 1 Temple of Mystery. Let's see. Let's see. You know what I'm going to do? We're going to go count lands that we need really quick. And rares to craft. Let's see. So, we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We'll go ahead and count the other Teferi. 18. It says 18 rares we need so far, and we have 26. Alright. 18 rares we need to craft. I know we need 3 of these. That's 21 rares to craft. We'll count the Temple of Mystery. 22 rares to craft. Alright, so we're at 22. Jeez. Supreme Phantoms. I guess we'll just count it as 3. That's 25. Need to craft 1 Hanged Executioner. What is that? 24? I forget the number. I think it'll be 26. I think is what I was at. So 26, and need to craft another Skyblade. Really wish I didn't have to. I really wish I got a couple more of her, but so we'll need to craft a Skyblade that makes 27, and then let's look at the last deck. Yeah. Wasn't there one? No, I already counted the Temple of Mystery. So, at the end of all of those pulls, it looks like we need to craft 27 rare cards. So we're only 1 rare away from being able to build all of those. Unfortunately, it doesn't give me a whole lot of latitude to maybe make another time wipe, which I was thinking of. I guess I'll try out. Did I even get Planar Cleansing? Let's find out. Jesus, I didn't even get Planar Cleansing. That sucks. Oh well. 3 Golos. Yeah, that's really useful. So, yeah, not a lot of latitude in terms of crafting other things. Like the time wipe, or maybe a 3rd Sephara, and I guess a 4th Supreme Phantom. So that's about 3. Damn, too bad. It's really too bad that I didn't get. That really sucks of the dungeon guys, because those would have updated to like 2 free ones, but whatever. I guess I'm short about 4, anywhere between 1 and 4 rare wild cards, so not the most amazing pulls that I was hoping for, but it still pretty well tries to get my point across of how you can best spend your saved up gold and your saved up wild cards in order to make the most decks you can. Like I said, 2 of them are going to be competitive. One's more casual for fun shenanigans, and the other's a little bit more experimental. So there you have it. And watch for profile videos after this that just shows off, I guess, gameplay and deck profiles on these guys. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching.